The following program on PBS 39 is made possible in part by...
For nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.
Excellence lives here in Northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is presented by the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of the arts.
Welcome to this edition of Arts Weekly. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Melinda Haines with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Later in the program, we'll meet Jonah Chrismore from Cinema Center to learn more about that organization and their upcoming Oscar party. But first, we'll talk with Kira Downey and Hamilton Tescarollo about the next recital in the Music on Old Mill series at Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Kira and Hamilton, thank you for being here today.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Kira, the Music on Old Mill is in its 5th season. Can you tell me exactly what this series is about?
The series is basically to find talented area musicians to come and perform at our location. We wanted to reach out to the community in some aspect, and this was one way to do that.
Do you always use local musicians?
Yes.
I mean, or like at least regional?
We have so far.
Yeah.
We realized that there was a lot of talented musicians here in Fort Wayne. And so we really haven't had to go outside of the Fort Wayne area to find talented musicians.
There are a lot of them here.
Right.
Now, how did this series get started?
Well, I've been on this committee for the 5 years, and it was started by our former music director, Ann Littlefield, and a former minister who thought it would be a great fundraiser for the church to bring in area musicians so that they could be shared with the community.
Oh, it's a great outreach because it reaches the people who are interested in music to come to the church as well. Yeah. And this is an entire series. I mean, it's not just one concert a year. Tell me a little bit about how you come up with who's going to be in the series.
Well, the series was originally started looking at bringing in just classical musicians. And so a lot of our programs, we do 4 concerts in the series. And so when it originally started, the 4 concerts were classically based. And I'm the youngest person on the committee, so I kind of had a jazz interest, and so I wanted to add a jazz element to the series as well.
And just mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit, because not everybody likes classical and not everyone likes jazz.
Right.
So I was able to add a jazz component to one of the concerts as well.
Well, that's nice to have it be a little bit more well-rounded. And your next recital in the series is with IPFW's own Dr. Hamilton Tescarollo, and
Yes.
I know him well. And how did you find out about his many talents and ask him to be a part of the series?
Well, actually, this will be his third time playing at our church, and he came several years ago and was playing with another group, and we said, "Hey, that's someone special." So we kept his name and have invited him back to give repeat performances. He's wonderful to watch.
Yes, so Hamilton, tell me about your program that you're going to be doing here for this recital.
Sure, it will be 3 pieces in the program. The first piece is Mozart's Fantasy in C minor, and then I'll play a piece by a Brazilian composer, Claudio Santoro, a sonata by him, the sonata number 3, and the second half of the program is Brahms' Handel variations. So Brahms wrote variations on a theme by Handel, and I can of course talk a little bit about the pieces, but that's basically the.
Well, the program is going to be absolutely lovely. We've got a little bit of a video here to show, just a little sneak peek of you practicing for this. So let's bring that up and show people a little bit of what they can expect to see. Wow, that is absolutely wonderful. Now, how did you choose these particular pieces to perform?
Well, it's an interesting process always to choose a program because it depends on several factors. First of all, putting together a program always has to do with thinking about what will go together, what will be, it's almost like putting together a meal. You want to think about what will work out together, what will have enough contrasts and complement, the pieces complementing each other. At the same time, it also depends on what I might feel like playing at, at that particular time. And also it has to do with composers that I have a special affinity with. Certainly Mozart for me is one of the composers that I have a great affinity with, Brahms, and always Brazilian music. Being from Brazil, I like to always include some music of Brazil and music of South America in general in my programs.
Something that we don't often hear as often, too. And these pieces are different lengths as well,
sure.
right? I mean,
sure.
What,
oh yeah, that's right. The Mozart is about 12 minutes. The Santoro is about 20, and the Brahms is about half an hour or so. So
the what is special about that Brahms piece? I mean, it's a long piece, but it's got a lot of variations in it, doesn't it?
Well, I think what's wonderful, yes, there are 25 variations. It's a very short theme, and 25 variations might sound like a long time, but really the theme is very short, and so the variations go by very quickly. And what's wonderful about it is that there is so much contrast. It's like really going very quickly from one character to another. And so at the same time as there is unity through the theme and the elements of the theme, the harmony, the melodic aspects of it, each variation really changes completely the mood, and it has, there is a lot of contrast. So it's I think the piece, even though half an hour might sound very long, but actually the piece goes by very quickly in that sense, because it changes very rapidly from one variation to another, and then at the end a big fugue that ends very triumphantly, let's say this way.
Well, this is
very
going
exciting.
to sound amazing in this space. I mean, Akira, tell me about the sanctuary where he'll be performing.
Fabulous acoustics. There really isn't a bad seat in the sanctuary, and we're just so excited to have Hamilton play for us.
And this is more than just a concert, too. I mean, right, there's a concert, and then isn't there afterwards some reception time? Or
Absolutely. We always like to put on a reception afterwards, and we do this so that people can feel comfortable in our space. We have a beautiful art gallery, and the reception is in our social hall, and it's a chance for community members who may not know a lot about music to interact with the musicians.
And where is the church located?
It is located at 5310 Old Mill Road.
Okay, and the recital is Saturday, February 23rd?
February 23rd at 7:30.
Okay, and they can call to get more information on your website. We've got that information on the screen right now. Well, thank you so much. It was great to have both of you here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
While we get ready for our next segment, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. You also can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be right back with Jonah Chrismore, the Executive Director of Cinema Center. Welcome back. With me is Jonah Chrismore, the Executive Director of Cinema Center. Welcome, Jonah.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, now you're new to Cinema Center, so you've been there less than a year. Tell me about coming to Cinema Center, where you're from and what you're kind of planning to do with the organization.
Okay, well, I'm actually from Fort Wayne originally. I went to school at Columbia College in Chicago.
Okay.
I studied film there, and I kind of was all over the place for a while. I did some stuff out in LA, ended up coming back, but eventually came back to Fort Wayne. And after doing couple of different jobs, some freelance jobs that were film related here, working at Lincoln Financial Group. I saw the position open for the executive director at Cinema Center, and I applied for it. So, I mean, it was not too interesting, but it was, you know, I'm very fortunate to have it.
Oh, well, it's neat that you're from here to begin with, but you have been out in the world to do some other things, and you can bring that back to Fort Wayne. So, as executive director, what is it that you do for Cinema Center?
Well, you know, my first priority is programming.
Okay.
Programming, and that includes, you know, community partnerships and finding out programming in which we can bring the community in and have them have a say in what we, you know, whether it's a cause and organizations trying to get a message out. It's also, you know, our week runs, our 2-week run films are longer than that sometimes if we're lucky. I'm in charge of, you know, getting those in. I also do quite a bit of going for funds and fundraising, you know, and all along just kind of trying to keep the place, you know, going and, you know, expanding and forward thinking.
And Cinema Center has been in Fort Wayne for quite a while. I mean, it's a long-standing institution, so you probably are like, okay, you want to take care of those traditions, but also do some new things.
Exactly.
Under your
you
tenure.
know, Cinema Center has been around since 1976.
Wow.
You know, it was kind of a nomadic organization for a long time. It actually, interestingly enough, it kind of started after a theater called the Spectator Theater, which was located on the landing in downtown. After that closed, a lot of the film lovers that were involved with that decided to come together, and they took the first steps towards creating the organization, which would become Cinema Center. And so, yeah, I definitely always everything I have planned for Cinema Center and where I want to take it into the future and take it into these next steps and these kind of uncharted waters for the 21st century. I always try to keep in mind, you know, where the organizations come from and what were those, you know, what was the vision of those first group of film lovers who came together to create it.
Right. Well, you know, I kind of remember those things happening and going, wow, was it really that long ago? But I guess the time goes by. Now, you've got a big event coming up tomorrow night. Tell me about Dial O for Oscar.
Well, this is our big Oscar fundraiser. This is just an annual event, and it's a time for us to invite the community to come in and, you know, we all celebrate our love for the movies here. You know, the Oscars are, a lot of people say it's the film lovers kind of Super Bowl. I kind of like to think of that, you know, it's just like a big event that everybody can kind of come together. And this is our chance as, you know, Fort Wayne's film loving public to kind of come together and really just celebrate the movies.
And what takes place at this party? It goes on for several hours.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot going on this year. We have actually the largest silent auction that we've ever had.
Really?
And, you know, we've had, you know, items from quite a few local businesses, organizations. The brand chocolate really came through with a great donation, so there's tons of the brand chocolate available. And in addition to that, there's also going to be some trivia, Oscar trivia. There's going to be a photo booth with a Janet Leigh signed shower curtain.
Yeah, you've really got this Hitchcock theme going as a part of this. So tell me, besides the Janet Leigh shower curtain, that just sounds kind of macabre and fascinating all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we also, you know, we are having quite a few, you know, people can come dress up as Hitchcock. We're going to have some Hitchcock trivia. We're going to have some artwork that's Hitchcock inspired, that is kind of, you know, somehow is connected with the Hitchcock theme. And we got away with the Hitchcock theme because we really wanted to use this opportunity to give filmmakers who weren't necessarily they don't necessarily get the attention that they deserve throughout the year, that this is a chance for them to get that.
Well, and that kind of leads me to wondering, you know, is that why you chose the Hitchcock theme? You know, for exactly that reason. I mean, did I read somewhere he never actually won an Oscar?
You know, one of his films won Best Picture, but he never won a Best Director Oscar.
Oh, okay. So
and and that's the reason why we're actually asking our audience if they can, you know, we've had this big campaign using social media and our website and everything to have them kind of vote in on what they thought were the best films of the year. And at this party, at the Dial O for Oscar party, they'll be able to, of those 10 films that are picked, choose their favorite film.
this auction where you've got, you're actually selling the Janet Lee signed
No,
Star
actually we are
Oh,
not.
that's a part of a photo booth or a photo
Yeah, it's
exhibit?
photo booth, and it's actually Larry Wardall. It's part of his personal collection that he's kind of putting on loan for us that we're very grateful for.
So what are some of the other items that you've got? You've got a lot of chocolate, and you've got
Yeah, we've got classes for the Fort Wayne Ballet. We've got a membership to the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. We've got tattoo gift certificates. We have comic books. I mean, we have a very wide variety of things this year. We have Hyde Brothers has quite a few gift certificates that they've donated for this. So it's really, if there's something there for everybody.
And does the auction take place over several hours?
Yeah, it'll start as soon as the party starts at 6 o'clock, and it will go until 8:30.
And so you've got food and drink available as
Yeah,
well?
it is, yes. Calhoun Street Soup, Salad, and Spirits is providing the food and drink for this event.
Well, and how many people do you expect to come?
I'm expecting a couple hundred.
Oh, that's going to be wonderful. And then after the silent auction, then you're going to show a movie.
Yeah, we're going to show actually the film that came out last year called Hitchcock that stars Anthony Hopkins and Helen Mirren.
Okay.
And it's just, it seems sort of like, it's that cherry on the top of the cake, for this, for this event.
Is that his life story?
It's about the making of Psycho.
Oh, okay. So it's sort of about his life making.
Yes, exactly.
His probably most famous movie. Okay.
And all the trials and tribulation that went into making that movie, because it was quite an uphill battle for him to get that movie made.
Was that his first movie?
No, it was not. But it was he was at kind of a creative, I won't say slump, but people were expecting a certain kind of movie from them, and he really wanted to surprise them, and he really surprised them with time.
So are you also at this event going to be saying who your Oscar winners are?
Yes,
your
we're
audience?
going to.
So is that part of the presentation
Yeah.
before the movie as
yes,
well?
we're going to. We also have our trivia winners announced, and also our best picture. We have a local accounting firm actually coming in to tabulate the results for us.
That's a lot of fun, little envelopes
Yes,
and all
exactly.
that. Because, for somebody who might not know, then when are the actual Oscars?
The actual Oscars are going to be on Sunday night.
Sunday night, so your party is a little bit in advance of that. And have you done this your own local Oscar tabulation in the past? I mean, how?
No, this is the first time for Cinema Center to try this.
So it'll be interesting to see how close you come to the actual
exactly.
winners on Sunday.
Well, I've seen the top 10 films, and I'll say that they actually they're very close at the Academy. So I think the Academy got it right this year.
Well, that would be very good. Now, what else do you have planned? I mean, we've got the party this weekend, but what else is coming up at Cinema Center?
Well, as part of the Downtown Improvement District's last Saturdays, every last Saturday we have a midnight movie that we screen that's either a cult genre film or a local film. And actually, Saturday night after the Saturday night after the Oscar party, we're going to be showing a regionally made zombie film, which we're really excited, called The Dead Will Rise 2. And I've been told that you don't have to see The Dead Will Rise 1 to know.
Oh, this is number 2, not T-O-O.
No.
Yeah.
So, and that was made, I believe, in Toledo, Ohio on a shoestring budget, and we're very excited to kind of, celebrate this Midwest filmmaking movement that's happening right now.
It's nice to be able to have a venue to show those kinds of movies, as well as, you have a lot of movies that, even though they're maybe first-run movies, they're not the same movies that you would find in the bigger movie houses in Fort Wayne. I mean, how do you choose the ones that you show?
Well, that's a really complicated question, but it's deceptively complicated, because it's kind of like curating, almost like curating an exhibit. You don't want to show 2 documentaries necessarily right after, because not everybody likes documentaries. You don't necessarily want to show 2 downer movies right after each other, because not everybody enjoys those kind of movies. So you have to kind of very much try to give as much scope and variety for your audience. And
you have regular runs. I mean, don't you? I mean, how does that work? I mean, I've seen the schedule enough to know that it's either over the course of a week or 2 weeks. You have several showings of a movie.
And that kind of all depends really on a distributor and what exactly it is what type of film it is and how it's available to us. You know, there's not to get too technical, but there's a distribution model. It's called platforming, and it kind of goes to like the cities where distributors believe that their films will be the most successful. And you know, unfortunately, I think Fort Wayne is kind of on the bottom of that list. That's why sometimes our films we get a little bit later than everyone else. But that's, you know, that's okay. You know,
well, yeah, it's wonderful that you're here because you know, I went to see the movie Liberal Arts, and it wasn't playing anywhere else, and I really wanted to see that. And you know, I was just so thankful that you had it there for me to go to.
That's what we're here for.
So what is showing currently?
Well, we're just finishing up a run of Rust and Bone. Actually, tonight at 8:30, they're going to be showing a silent film, the Phantom of the Opera, with live music from the Andrew Alden Ensemble, which is very exciting. But then Hitchcock's going to be playing for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then after Hitchcock, we'll be showing a film called Hyde Park on Hudson with Bill Murray playing FDR, which really looks he's got quite a bit of buzz for that role. And later on in March, we're going to have the Oscar-nominated foreign film Amour play, as well as the Dustin Hoffman directed film called Quartet.
How far in advance do you plan? I mean, do you have to plan a certain, you know, time out, or?
For our, you know, for the benefit of our members and our audience, we really try to have, you know, at least a month out. But sometimes things just don't work out that way. You know, a film can, especially as a smaller film with a limited print, it can become extremely successful, and then that makes it unavailable to us. So we kind of have to. We try to plan out, but we also have to be ready to improvise.
And do you take requests from people?
Oh yeah, on our website,
on your website,
cinemacenter.org, you can suggest a movie, and we take all those very seriously.
Okay, so the web address again, cinemacenter.org.
Yes.
Did you say? Okay, and let's talk again about the party. When, where, what time, all of that.
It is on February 22nd. It's Friday night, tomorrow. It starts at 6 o'clock, goes till 9. The silent auction will be going on until about 8:30. You know, it will call. You can find information on tickets at cinemacenter.org. And yeah, it's where there'll be Calhoun Street Soup, Salad, and Spirits will provide food and drink, and it's going to be a great time for any movie lover.
Well, it sounds like a very, very fun time. Thank you so much for being here, Jonah. I'm Melinda Haines with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Be sure to watch the next edition of Arts Weekly when we chat with Michael Floyd of Windsong Pictures about their upcoming film festivals. Then T. Ermshire and Heather Miller from the Foundation for Art and Music and Education give us the details on the FAME Festival taking place March 9th and 10th. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and be sure to join us here live Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thank you for watching.
The preceding program on PBS 39 was made possible in part by
Excellence lives here in northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.